Alex Stings, tongue-in-cheek, says Will needs this game to tie and to win his own game by 594.
Okay.
Interesting. Net Donna wishes the best of luck to both of the players on the table here, vying for second place. Sonic Rick points out Rashid is on an 8-game winning streak, coming back, as was noted by another participant, from 0-7 to start. That is an amazing comeback indeed. Jillian Bathgate, welcome to the broadcast. Glad you are enjoying. Thank you for your compliment.
All right, we have letters on racks.
The opaque G.
Opaque G. All right. Seems like opaque is a word you could play here.
Strong.
We have seen a few times, though, Jesse take his time on positions where I would never take very much. Sometimes he has his reasons.
Eldar almost has Will's last rack of the last game.
Oh, wow. All right, looks like opaque is coming down.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah. By Jesse's standards, 56 seconds, not bad.
That's a fast play, basically, for him. Jeremy cheekily mentions beer hole. Very nice.
There's Ho.
Yeah, a couple of spots you can play Ho, H-O-E, either above or below.
Yeah.
Scott asking in chat why pattern opaque star returns that it does. Opacus is a word. Do the search correctly, Scott. You can do it.
The chat's mentioning Jesse Day needs the L on David Eldar's rack to float somewhere.
Oh, Kilogi.
Kilogi, yeah. Looks like he's not going to get it. All right, Ho looks like a good play. Keeping a fairly strong lead of EELR.
You agree with the underneath position?
Trying to think of what the difference is. Is there like a hook he might give back?
Well, this way he doesn't give back Bingo's hooking EA.
Yeah, this is more
AE.
defensive. Shoe is basically the only obvious option, playing down into the bottom left quadrant as a result. Definitely a more defensive positioning. Eldar's got a nice draw.
Ooh.
Koi appears to be best by far. It's a good play by Jesse.
Something with opaker.
Yep.
Any of a number of bingos, probably.
Looks like he's just going to play Learier pretty quickly. Wow. Not really pausing to think much at all. We had Eldar in the studio earlier in the tournament, and he basically said, if you've got a bunch of plays that are all basically the same, just pick one. Don't waste your time. And he's following his own rule here. Playing Learier just immediately.
Jesse's got Vigwelt.
Vigwelt.
Yeah.
Wieg VLT.
So Dave, when your kids were younger, would they be Wiglets?
Yes. Obviously, he has to keep the WIEG. So
Yeah,
what
so
else
how do
can
you
he
fish?
do?
Yeah. You just Lev for 14? Yeah. Best play here appears to be Wiglet.
A moving tribute. That might be a good name for Dave's fandom. They're the Wiglets.
The Wiglets?
I like it.
That's probably better than the what was it, the Wiggets?
The Wiggets?
Yeah. We'll go with Wiglets from here forward because it seems likely it's coming down.
Ooh, yeah, Rob catches that fructose is getting blocked here. Interesting. Wait a minute. Oh, if Wiglet is played, then fructose will be blocked. I see.
No.
Yeah, Futhorx.
Futhorx.
No H. All right, here comes Wiglet.
37.
No N for functors.
Ooh, Funk Doors, yeah. Ooh, there is a cool 6-letter word that he has available. Not necessarily the best play, but just a cool word. Could be the best play. Scores 42. See if anybody in chat can spot that one. Oh, yeah, we see an oh yeah, and Jello Mocha's has it. Yeah, Fustock will be a 42-point play at the bottom of the board there next to Learier. Interesting choice here, whether you want to go long and take the points or maybe fish with a better leave.
Is there any really strong fish?
Yeah, I mean, you can play of keeping CRSTU. I'm not sure how strong of a fish that is.
hate the U.
Yeah. This might be one of those moves where you take a little time and think if you're David Eldar. Side monitor says CRSTU seems good. It might be. There's probably some ways to hit a bingo with CRSTU.
If you draw an E, you're in good shape.
Yeah. There are, I believe, 7 E's in the 68 unseen tiles.
Fish off an O, go for that U, try to draw usufruct. That'd be fun. Why not?
Quackle Simulation says that if you fish OF, you're about 40% to bingo, and if you fish just the F, you're about 58%. But both of those dishes involve significant point sacrifices, so it's a difficult trade-off to make there. Yeah, this is a tough spot for Eldar. I mean, I think to really process this position fully, you've got to go through the alphabet and see how many bingos these fishes hit. At least get kind of a rough estimate of that before you can make a decision. These are the kinds of choices that can take some time to figure out. I would say if you think fishing is likely to work, maybe you try of. If you think it's not, maybe just Fustock for the 42 points.
I usually tend to take the points in situations like this where it's close. Could be wrong.
Jeremy Smith says, why fish when you already have koi on the board? Well played.
Nice. Maybe a Fustock is a fish too. I don't know what it is.
I believe they looked up the definition
Like
earlier.
a
It's
kind of
French.
wood or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wood
the
of a
wood-
tree growing in the
yeah.
West Indies. Okay. Not a fish. I feel like 30% of the time I have some obscure word. I don't know what it is. It's a fish.
And
So,
Dave Eldar's got it lined up. Very nice.
oh, Fustock. Okay.
He's taking
He's
the
going to
points.
play it. Okay.
This does set up a huge Z or Z play,
Ooh.
potentially.
Yeah.
Oh, he's leaving. Oh,
He's
challenge.
challenged,
Okay.
okay. +5 for Eldar because it is good. That's going to make the score 148 to 105. Eldar's up by 43 here.
Tiggy Zax asked an excellent question, saying, I notice most players, referring to the ones we've seen on stream, don't play a tight board. Is the ultimate play trying to bingo at every turn? Well, there's certainly different schools of thought on this, but at the expert level, like we have someone sitting next to us who can probably provide a bit of insight on that.
Usually you're trying to balance between bingoing and scoring. It's always, that's the beauty of the game. You're trying to weigh the two options of leave versus score, and also think about defense when you can. So there's no simple answer. You have to consider every board. Sometimes it turns into a defensive-minded board, and you have to play that. But yeah, there's no easy answer.
As the chat concurs. It depends basically on the situation. You actually had a very tight board that you had to play.
Yeah,
during the
and
tournament.
I messed it up.
That was quite the game.
It's not my usual style, and I used too much time and choked in the end game.
Just the Evan Borowski one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a tough game.
There was the discussion of video as one. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw video just moments too late.
So there's a straightforward X play here, and Jesse Day indeed does make the straightforward X play. So he takes a 10-point lead here, 158, 148. It looks like kind of a weird draw for David here.
Rob noting it is close to Decemvir on his rack. Yeah, that would be a nice play if that were there.
So you have Bessemvir. Oh, no, whatever, something like that.
And Lewis summarizes it nicely. Good motto for Scrabble is that there's no easy answer to any questions like this. There's certainly some baseline theory that we do refer to, but a lot of it is very positional. What I like to refer to as the static and the dynamic components of the answer to any question like that one. One of the ways you start to rise up in the rankings, besides just playing games, is you have that idea of baseline static theory, as I call it, but the more dynamic does come from experience playing games and seeing how things play out depending on your choices.
Yeah, I mean, thanks to modern technology, we can calculate the value of any tile or any combination of tiles, right? Like the S is like 8 to 10, the blank is around 30, but those are only static values, and they're totally dependent on, the nature of the board, the nature of your rack and your opponent's rack, and whether you're winning or losing. There's all sorts of considerations you got to think about at all times. So, as you guys all said, there's never any simple answer.
So here goes Vtex.
I kind of liked Vim and Moho there to get rid of another thing.
Yeah, BCIMR, interesting 5-tile leave there.
Maybe going for Coriam magically through Fewstock. You never know.
Yeah. I'd love to get at least one vowel in that draw from
That's
David.
pretty good.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Looks like no bingo, but he's got some interesting combinations.
Just slightly off of comorbid, not quite.
Yeah. Bracomid.
Yeah. No.
We were just talking yesterday about how Brett Smitherham won that world championship with Bracomid.
Right.
But yeah, Bracomid is not a word.
Jesse's got Vughead.
Bughead. Ugh, Dave.
Conrad would have lined that up 100%. Or if you were still on your losing streak,
Hug
probably
Dave.
Hug Dave.
Hug
Yeah.
That sounds more like. Yeah.
From the T, you've got Thug Dave.
24.
Chug Dave.
Wow,
Dave,
all
yeah.
sorts of options.
Amazing beer word.
All right, what is Jesse actually playing in real life?
Hugs.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty solid.
Yep, gets rid of the most of the junk he's got. Scores pretty nicely as well. Nice little back and forth game here. Jesse retakes the lead from David. And David's going to take it back this turn.
Said no one suggests Karmic coming down from the K and Koi as a possible move out of all of the options.
Jesse's drawn a bingo off the sea.
Deadly.
Ooh. I just got that. Cyanides are quite deadly. Eldar's got a nice play here of Mbira, M-B-I-R-A, for 35. If he spots that, I think it's pretty clearly stronger than the other options.
Oh, Fem and Herb.
Yeah, Fem and Herb.
That's good. That blocks cyanide.
Oh, that
Cyanized.
too, yeah.
It's tough to spot that, though. You should find it, but it's difficult.
Yeah, when you're looking at patterns of letters that fit in a certain spot, you don't usually look at words starting with MB. So it's not like the most intuitive.
Who even considers words starting with MB? Yeah, that's that's not a typical pattern for any sort of affix. That's true.
Yeah, cyanides and cyanides are the only bingos here for Jesse. Nothing else plays. So if this is blocked, he's in trouble. Gonna have to find a much worse backup plan.
Here he goes.
Oh,
He's lining it up.
He's got it. Oh, very nice.
Sweet.
Great play.
All right, so Jesse's down by 24 and on turn. We'll see what he
Do
does
like
with this.
DEY, if nothing else.
So this is another one of these points versus fishing for a bingo decisions here. Because he can play
Snidey comes to
Snidey,
mind.
S-N-I-D-E-Y for 43, making Imbiras.
Oh, yeah.
So do you want 43 or do you want to fish for a bingo here?
The fish is just YA and U.
Yeah, YA is 23, keeping dines. So you're giving up 20 points, but you're doing it for a much better chance at a bingo. Also, snidey is not an obvious word. Like, it's hard to be sure that it's good. I think a lot of expert players, you study bingos and you learn words like snidier and snidiest, but how do you spell snidey? Is it with a Y? Is it with an EY? Like, it's hard to be sure. And there's a lot at stake here. You don't want to get this wrong.
It's like Eldar's drawn a pretty clunky rack.
Yeah, it's messy.
I'm expecting YA to come down eventually.
I think so. Even if you are sure of snidey, it might not be the best play. I mean, YA looks very strong.
It's probably going to agonize for about 3 or 4 more minutes.
Look at all the time he has.
Yeah, he's been great with the clock so far. He can afford the 3 or 4 minutes. Simulation says you're a 57% favorite to bingo after playing YA. So that might make it worth it.
And in the process, that would also block the nice spot of Chez for David Eldar in the next turn, as in Chez Plat, using the French word. Curb and Chez is a very nice spot.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
He's still got dits at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, it also blocks was, W-U-Z, which is one of Eldar's best options. Rob says that yeah probably guarantees Eldar plays dits in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it does take away the other 2 items of consideration. Tiggy asks, I noticed that I haven't seen a player exchange tiles. Is it more beneficial to play a couple of bad tiles to enhance your chances of getting better tiles for bingo? And at risk of sounding like a broken record, this depends. Like many of the other things that have come up. There's a few general rules you might want to work with, but yeah, look at that. Sonic Rick is anticipating the answer is it depends. We have seen exchanges on stream.
Yeah, sometimes you absolutely have to exchange. It's just if you have no good plays.
A very general rule is you're thinking about the next couple of turns, what your average score is going to be, and you're comparing what those would be if you play through the letters that you have, or if you take 0 for 1 turn and think about potential scores after you make that exchange. You, of course, can't perfectly predict what you'll score by making that exchange, but you can permute it to some degree as far as what you're likely to score on the next turn, given the board, given what's left in the bag. So the answer is it depends. But at the top level, maybe you exchange a little less often, but you still exchange.
Jesse really taking his time on this one. Difficult spot. I mean, really, your decision here is going to dictate a lot about how the rest of the game goes. You know, if you fish here, you're really committing to, you know, bingo or bust in a way.
If he fishes and Eldar plays dits, then the board is not going to be super bingo friendly.
Oh, that's true. Yikes.
That'll take out the G possibility.
Yeah.
ING words. Not a lot of other spots currently.
Yeah.
Rebecca points out there are some folks in the lower levels of tournament play who are quite hesitant to exchange when they should, so it probably averages out. You know, that's a valid point. That does come up as well. There can be people who overvalue certain letters like S's or some of the power tiles and are hesitant to exchange when they really should. That's true. There's different reasons for it, but you're right. At the end of the day, that is them also not exchanging when they should.
I'd also just point out that with the Collins Dictionary, which is what all these games we're broadcasting are, I mean, there's just so many words in it that like you're bound to find one. I mean, even the addition of a word like EUOI just gets you out of so many situations where you'd otherwise have to exchange, but you're like, oh, I can play this for 14. It's worth playing through it. There's just so many opportunities to play through tough racks and at least get some points more than 0. All right, what is Jesse playing? It appears to be Samed. That's a phony, it looks like.
Wow.
And it's going to get challenged. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, Jesse trying.
Jesse, what have you done?
S-A-Y-N-E-D. There's Sedained, right? S-D-A-Y-N-E-D.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah, so they're going to come back from the challenge and it's going to come off.
Sonic Rick says, that's so like me, spend 5+ minutes to play a 0-point move. I've been there and done that.
We've all done that once or twice. Tough moment there for Jesse because he needed to score something that'd keep pace. But a free turn now for Eldar.
So he's playing Dits
Oh,
quickly.
and Dits comes down right away.
Interesting.
Wonder if he saw Shay.
Well, now if you're Jesse, you can play YA making Ditsy and open up a new bingo lane. That might be something to consider.
Bollington asks, who do they consult when someone challenges? Until recently, it was looking through a paper copy of the Scrabble dictionary, but now
Recently?
there is, well, relatively compared to how long the scene's been around, but for the last decade and some, there has been computer software we've used to formally look up challenges, and we allow that to adjudicate instead. It has greatly simplified the process. Shout out to Michael Thalen, the creator of Ziziva. That was something revolutionary when it first came on the tournament Scrabble scene.
Yeah, players are allowed to use personal phones in this tournament. That's kind of a new thing in Scrabble that we're kind of innovating. People can use their phones instead of walking up to a challenge computer across the room or whatever. But the computer is still an option as well.
So he took Yeed for 11 more points than YA in that spot. I guess he needs the points at this juncture because he's fallen behind in another tempo.
Yeah. And he does still have a good lead with INS.
Did he draw the blank?
It looks like a blank at the end, yeah.
Blank and the J, not great synergy, but you can play through the J first and then bingo later.
Eldar is looking at weighted, going down from Yeed. Sonic Rick says, I miss the times when playing a word over 9 letters could catch unprepared tournament directors with no hard copy dictionary to verify the word. That's in reference, for those of you who don't know, the OSPD and I think CSW as well had a limit of 9 letters in both cases for the printed copies. And then there's an official 10+ letter version that's sold by Scrabble associations only. But now with software, that's a little less of an issue.
Weighted seems right.
Very strong. Jesse on turn, down by 61 now, 277, 216.
And Gene as in Genie.
That
Seems
should-
pretty straightforward.
should be the play.
Nice. Good points, good leave, and good opening some lanes for ace. Accomplishes pretty much everything. And it looks like Jesse lines it up on his rack right away.
Ooh, Eldar.
Not good for Eldar. Look at that draw.
I'm
You did get
sure
one
he
vowel.
would like to Control Alt Delete, throw some of that back in the bag.
So Eldar does draw one vowel, and Jesse does play Jin, keeping PSS blank.
Eldar has LOL. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be laughing in a pleasant way at this rack. This is certainly a tough one to play through.
Maybe like COLL at the top. Don't see much. Yeah, not a fun rack.
Yeah, not great. Yeah, he's got plays in the top right corner, making all AWL.
Troll, maybe that's better.
Troll or
another letter.
toll, something like that. He's only going to score about 20. Trying to overcome laggy internet and get that score updated. It should say 277, 252 after the 36 for Jesse. There we go. Now it's up. So yeah, only a small lead here for Eldar, up by 25.
And Biopsies is also there, I believe, for Jesse Day next turn. If Cole goes down, that should be available.
That's a nice score.
Oh, triples to P. Yeah, that's huge. It looks like that's going to stay open. Yep, I see in the chat some optimism that Biopsy is going to come down for Jesse. I think you guys are right. And yes, possible is possible. Clever.
He's got Troll lined up, assuming that's going to the position beside All and Doll.
Unless he's just trolling us.
He could literally just be trolling us. That's true.
Looks like a pause here before he plays it. He's still thinking. Oh. He's trying to spell out trollolol for us, but doesn't quite have enough O's and L's.
I think he's debating Trill. That would certainly hurt Jesse's efforts at coming back.
Trill for 9.
That is the clinical textbook defensive play here.
Yeah, but he's going to play
Gone
troll.
with Troll.
Yeah, Jesse
And
will
he's
be
gonna get
relieved
burned.
to see that. Biopsy should be coming in relatively short order.
And yep, immediately Biopsies comes down with the maximum score by tripling the P. That's going to be a big old 84 for Jesse Day here and the lead.
Great play.
.336, 297 is going to be your score. A 39-point deficit now for Eldar to make up.
Some discussion in the chat that Jesse Day designated the blank first, as in he wrote it down before making the play. There are some people in the chat who have previously voiced their displeasure at players who do this. It's definitely been a hot point of debate in the past.
I don't think it's debatable. I think it's explicitly frowned upon in the rules.
Kind of a nice rack here for Eldar.
Yeah.
See any bingos?
Yeah, looks like no bingo here for David, so he's going to have to, again, kind of find the right balance between how much of scoring and how much of fishing do you want to emphasize here. The highest scoring play is Cham through the H in Viewgs there at the bottom. And that score is 26. So that's certainly one option. He's going to be like a kind of a tempo behind after that play, though. Not exactly clear how he's going to catch up from there. Looks like maybe advantage Jesse a little bit here, but obviously still a long way to go.
Jeremy asks, what's the reason that it's a problem to designate the blank first? It's a psychological thing. Some players have more than anything.
It just is. It's annoying, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a point of annoyance. Yeah, definitely a psychological thing.
Mind games.
Bullington says that they don't understand it either. It's honestly, I think it's really just a Scrabble culture thing, because technically it doesn't really matter in terms of you're going to get bingoed on, well, or high scored on either way at expert level. It is really just a psychological thing.
Unlike opening vertically, which totally matters, and you're pure evil if you do it.
And sometimes I do just for the chaos. I truly have no preference.
Shout out to Josh Castellano, who has code that can scrape cross tables for everybody's data and give everybody's open vertically percentages. It's interesting to see like which are the players who troll and like open vertically only 10% of the time just to like mess with certain opponents. He's got all sorts of fun data. Anyway, we're watching people play for $5,000, so I guess I'll pay attention to the game.
Alex Ding says, I resign, my opponent marks their blank, then opens vertically. Glad to read that. I will make sure I draw a top 100 blank bingo to start, and I'll make sure I open vertically.
Cham looks reasonable for hitting potential bingos at the top through AGE or ending L.
Oh, yeah.
Going cardage.
Okay. Cardage, interesting. So it scores 31, so it's just a close game in terms of points. Puts him within 8. We can bring up the unseen tile pool in a minute. There's 16 letters still unseen. And I think the automated pool is actually working this time, so you can see the real letters.
It's going to be pretty tough to get a bingo down now.
Ooh, especially if you draw that. Not good news for David Eldar.
Potential like retinoic or something.
That's true.
Nothing. Not a lot. Tenorino.
Looks like a 10 consonant, 6 vowel pool. And Eldar is consonant heavy already. He needs to avoid becoming even more so. Yikes.
Yeah, that was not the draw of his dreams.
Nope. Looks like Jesse has AU lined up on his rack. There's a couple of spots he might play that, including to the left of biopsies. I guess that's the only spot he might play that. Yeah, at the bottom right there. Yeah, NJ Devil points out that 3 ends on your rack is just the worst. Yeah, I'll concur. That is not a good draw at all for Eldar. He's in serious trouble here. I don't even know if there's, like,
counting to make
anything.
sure he has enough. I mean, I don't know if he's going to want to exchange necessarily, but probably just checking to see how much is in there.
Yeah, well, so it's Jesse on turn, and if he plays 3 tiles like it's looking like he might, there's going to be exactly counting. There's going to be 6. He can't exchange.
Three of anything except blanks is the worst, says one wonderful fish. Well, it's a good thing we only have 2.
I was going to say 3 blanks is the worst because you're banned for cheating. So
yeah, and 2 blanks actually, because I am not Dr. Bing. I have a very hard time finding all the bingos whenever there's 2 blanks in there. So in a different way, it's the worst. Too
well,
many
he missed
options.
one too, so you know, we're all human apparently. Looks like Jesse's gonna make up his mind and play AU, which looks pretty solid.
You.
On the side of biopsies, I believe. Yeah.
Doesn't give Eldar much. Enough. Yes.
Yeah, he's got Neff keeping G, M, N, N. Meanwhile, the pool
Black.
unseen from Eldar's perspective is amazing, and Jesse's a threat to bingo.
Yeah. Definitely.
Looks like
Goodness.
he's got Fen lined up on his own. Not sure where he intends to play Fen.
E-Nations is unlikely to be blocked, the chat says. Where's the T?
Yeah, I'm not seeing
I
E-Nations.
don't think so.
Yeah, if he had a T instead of an N on his rack, that would be the case.
E-Nations unlikely to be played, counters Jeremy Koo. There you go.
It's okay, Ricky, you're still learning.
Ballington questions, how about letting your clock run down when you're way behind, referring to evil things to do in Scrabble? Ooh, that's an interesting suggestion. I would actually argue letting it run down when you're way ahead and you're already winning by a whole bunch. I would say that's probably more of a psychological annoyance versus like, you're destroying me, get it over with already. I want to leave and grab something alcoholic.
There's a discussion of Newman or Fung in the chat. I think that's through the U and views. I think that's just going to kill off your bingos. I mean, I don't know if you can survive a play like that. Then again, I don't know what you can do if you're trying to bingo. It's going to be really tough no matter what.
There's been a request to update the unseen tile
I
pool.
did. What?
I guess he just has to do enough and pray that he can squeak out some points, and Jesse doesn't bingo.
Hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for him.
Yeah, so when we say unseen tiles, these are the tiles unseen to David, who's the one on turn. It includes the 7 that are on Jesse's rack, just to make that clear. We're just looking at, from his perspective, what letters he might be concerned his opponent could have. So David kind of shuffling back and forth between, I guess, Neff and Fung and...
Fung, I guess he's hoping to draw the S.
Hmm. I mean, he's looking at a pool of just all these letters in Senorita. I mean, he knows he's not going to get any high-scoring words. Like, I don't think something like Ming's is going to be enough to win at this deficit. Ming's and Fung's in that hypothetical, I mean.
Yeah.
Nang.
Nang!
Huh.
Going for 10 points. Just needs to get rid of ends, I guess. That leaves 3 in the bag. We should have everything updated correctly, I believe. The score is 361, 338, a 23-point lead for Jesse.
Does give him some scoring possibilities with from and the like on the left of AU. Maybe he was thinking there were no more scoring tiles, so he might try to maximize his M and F.
NetDonna asks, what does the second place winner get in this division? That is $5,000.
Yep. We're paying 7 places in total, with the top 4 being 10, 5, 2.5, and 1. $10,000, $5,000, $2,500, and $1,000 for the top 4. And these 2 guys are playing for second place.
Jequezinho says, selling your soul for Scrabble glory. Sounds like a good bargain to me.
I wasn't aware of any souls being sold. What's happening here?
I think that's in reference to Nigel being a birdie.
Oh, that's soul selling. Yes, excuse me.
How many tiles left?
3 in the bag.
And it's Jesse Day up.
He's got a whole 6 minutes.
Yeah. An eternity of Jesse time. So there are bingos he's got to worry about in 2 different spots. From his perspective, it is possible for Eldar to have something like front men into the N on the far right, or tenor men.
Oh, wow. He almost does have front men.
He almost does. Wow. Yeah. And then into the C at the bottom, there's all sorts of stuff like meteoric, neoteric, frenetic. So there's no 100% guaranteed way to win this right now for Jesse, it looks like. He's still got to be a little bit, sweating this out. Does he play just 2 tiles and leave the bag not empty? I mean, he's going to lose to a bingo no matter what, maybe? Because at this score?
I would think he's playing 2, leave 1 in the bag.
So Robert Bidsky suggests those bingo possibilities from Dave in the 2 different spots is why he wonders if Jesse should set up the case S with a play like Nog off of the G and Nang.
Just give himself a way to score? Maybe. I don't know.
To try to bingo back.
Oh, true. It's a rather specific spot, though, where the S has to be like in the middle of the word. Not sure what word he's going to get. Although it's possible. I haven't looked through like all the possibilities, of course.
Well, Insaney comes to mind.
True, true.
A nest tree.
That's a word. Okay.
There are choices.
Yes, you love choices.
Choices.
Jalamoka says, I gave up my last born for the championship.
Quite literally.
That's harsh.
I can laugh about it now.
Exactly.
Laugh all the way to the bank. Jesse now under 4 minutes here.
Ticky's asked a great question. What would you play in this position, Dave, if you were Jesse Day?
I don't know.
Making him think? He just finished.
Dave's giving a good look over there for you, Tiggy.
Maybe Han, H-A-N to block the C.
H-A-N-A-T and N-O coming down from the H in Vugs, Dave suggests.
The C bingos seem a lot more likely than front men or tenor men. But I don't know.
We do have an update from table 2, where Will Anderson was playing Rashid Balagoon, and Will gets the win by a score of 535-375. So Will is going to finish with a record of 20-11 and a spread of in the 900s.
Wow.
Looking like Will's going to finish third place and get that $2,500, I believe.
Amazing showing by Will. And for those of you who haven't been here since the beginning, he was as low as 4-7 to start out his tournament, then went on an incredible run to be in the running to win the whole thing here just until the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, I think he won like 12 of his next 13 after that, something like that. It was incredible, like you said.
Alex Ding suggests that Will sandbagged for content. Or gambited, as we like to say.
Yeah, Swiss Gambit accepted. All right, we see a play here.
So Hin doing something very similar to Dave's
same
suggestion.
idea. Not much difference there, I don't think.
All right, updating the score and the pool.
Oh, now he has
Down by 35.
Sonatine Nations.
Yes.
Ooh.
Well done.
Nice bowl.
Good draw.
Sonic Rick says, "Oh, can I say the E-Nations thing again?" Yeah, this time you're fine. And it looks like it's going to be a quick play from David Eldar of From next to Biopsies.
And
Wow.
Jesse will bingo out.
And not only is E-Nations likely to be played. Oh, look at that. Never mind. It's not being played. The other is being played. Sonatine to go out. So Jeremy Koo, you're saved. E-Nations was not played. So we'll have an official final score here for you shortly, and then perhaps we can give you some unofficial and likely to be made official shortly after results to let you know some of our top placing contenders.
Absolutely.
We, of course, know Dave next to us here is in first, and we'll be taking home the $10,000. So we'll have the rest of those standings here for you in just a few minutes.
Yeah, the final score you see on your screen now is correct. The final score is Jesse Day, 446, David Eldar, 371. And with that win, Jesse has his 21st win of the tournament. Good for second place.
Congrats.
Yeah, fantastic
Good
run
game.
for Jesse.
Very nice, except for Stained.
You should tell him that.
There have been a few Jesse games like that where it's like, great game except for that one phony. But
Yeah, a nice recovery from Toadier to come all the way back to second place.
apparently there was Clownier last round. He let that go, but still won. Jesse had an incredible tournament, and 21-10 with a great spread as well. So fantastic run for him. Looks like Jesse second. Will Anderson with 20 wins will finish third, and David Eldar with 19.5 will finish fourth. So that's your top four. And we're going to have some results trickling in from the likes of Rashid, Ben, Thomas Reinke, Austin Shin, Chris Light. We'll get all that sorted out, and we're going to have an awards ceremony in about an hour and a half to announce all the final results.
Perfect. And then just one last time, our little tradition here, for both of you guys, if we look at the game here, any particular swing point or a move of a note that you think might have contributed to the way this game played out?
I guess Troll was probably a critical move when he didn't block the eye. That was a very tough rack. And I don't know if there's a lot Eldar could have done differently. He played well and just didn't get the draws in the late half of the game.
Yeah. And then Lewis points out that Mbira from David Eldar was important to block at the time.
Yeah, that was great.
That was a really nice move as well.
Nice.
So on that note, since the award ceremony is...
Quick note, I just want to say, I did my time zone math wrong. The awards are in 30 minutes, not in an hour and 30. Because 1:30 is coming soon.
I
Okay.
say that's very soon. So just to check, we aren't broadcasting that, right? Or
It will be broadcast, but you and I don't have to do anything. It's just going to be like the speaker on camera.
Okay, perfect. So then that answers my question. So that will be broadcast on this channel, but of course there is no commentary to provide for that. So that means this is the time. This is the time that we're going to sign off one last time. We're going to have a quick little shot of us here in studio showing the champion once again, who will be gracing the stage shortly to accept that fat check.
Yay.
So I just wanted to thank everybody for joining us for the last 4.5 days to watch some of the best players in the world face off. And in this case, it is Dave Wiegand who prevails. Thanks for joining us, Dave.
All right, thank you.
Awesome treat.
having me.
Jesse and Evans signing off here from Chicagoland. One last time, stay tuned to this channel for more Scrabble action coming up in the future. We will see you later. Thanks for watching.
See you guys.